call. I'm like, oh, if I know that if I call her on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm not getting her.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
because
like, she's busy, but I always still call her. I don't care.
Yeah, and she'll call me.
And then I know she'll get back to me when it's Monday.
Yeah, no, legit. She'll be like, oh, what day is it? Oh, it's Monday. I'm like, okay.
I know, I'm like, this girl's in the streets. I forgot. I'm literally, she's not even in the streets. She's out with her family. Just enjoying life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm joined by my friend all the way from Canada, Nana02.
Hey.
And Nana Acosta.
Okay, whoa. No, this one.
Isn't it Acosta?
No, it's Aquia.
Oh.
Okay, clearly she doesn't know me that well, because how do you not know my name?
Nana Aquia.
Okay, don't give them the full gubby.
Oh.
It's just Nana, let's keep it like that.
Nana02. So I'm here with Nana, my friend of almost 10 years.
Yeah, honestly.
Isn't that so crazy?
I can't even believe it's been 10 years. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's been so refreshing. It's been actually a refreshing journey.
It has been so refreshing.
Yeah, it actually has.
I love her so much.
I love her too.
So I'm so happy that she's here. She came all the way from Canada, and this is her first time in Dallas, Texas.
Is it how you guys do? Oh, we don't want to put guns up because you know how you Americans will.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just so happy that she's here.
Can you say guns?
Yeah, you
on
can
YouTube?
say guns.
Okay, because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if my channel's monetized, so I don't think they're gonna demonetize me. I think I'm good. But yeah, so I'm just so happy that she's here. In today's video, we're gonna talk about our friendship. We're gonna talk about how we maintain our long distance friendship. For majority of our friendship, it's actually been long distance, but God has been so good to sustain us. And we've always known that God has called us together. Even though we've parted physically, we've never parted like emotionally, mentally. Like we've just always been so connected. So I really just wanted to talk about that on our video, like what we do to maintain it. But before we get into it, I think it'll be good for us to talk a little bit about how we met. I feel like, okay, so we met through a friend.
Okay, well, the mutual friend that we had, Avrielle used to play flag football. Avrielle was an athlete, y'all.
I mean, it was literally intramurals. But it wasn't intense. But
yeah, I think that's kind of how I kind of knew of you.
Yeah, so she had a friend basically that used to play on the flag football team with me. And I like one time ran into that friend at the mall, and she was with Nana, and she had told me that like Nana does hair or something like that. And I ran up to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And then that's when she like introduced me to Nana. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I heard you do hair. Oh my goodness, can you do my hair? And I was just like,
that's when the seed planted.
That's when the seed planted, because ever since then I've always making her do my hair.
This girl thinks I could do hair. I cannot do hair.
She actually can do hair.
No,
She don't listen to her.
Okay,
she does such a good job at doing hair. So ever since then, like I've always just like asked her to do my hair or whatever, and she does do it. She didn't do it this time, but
when we live together, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
part
we'll get to that part. So anyway, essentially, basically, so we met through them.
Because you did take my number down.
Yeah, I took
somehow
your number
we
down.
got each other's number.
Yeah, I think I did get your number.
You did.
I did get your number from that. Yeah. So anyway, from that, whatever, like we would just always bump into each other. Then shortly after that, I got saved. And then you got saved.
No,
or you got saved first.
Yeah, I was saved first.
And then I got saved after. And then like we like followed each other on Twitter.
Well, so for me, I saw you tweeting. I don't know how, but you got retweeted. You know how like Twitter, people get retweeted on each other's timeline. So I had noticed that Avrielle was tweeting like a lot of like, you know, when you're in a saved era, you're like overly zealous.
Yeah, I was overly zealous.
So she was like tweeting a lot of, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting, because the Avrielle that I had like known through our mutual friend
was always in the club.
Like she was turning it up. She getting litty.
I was in the club. I was on the poles. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not the poles.
I actually was.
Oh, are you?
I mean, I wasn't a stripper. I mean, I was on the poles dancing in the club. Like I was wild.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically, I ended up getting saved, whatever. And then like we had like seen each other through Twitter, and I noticed from Twitter that like when she followed me, I followed her back, that Nana like would post like Christian stuff like on her Twitter or whatever. So from then I was like, okay, like I need to get connected to her. I think that's where the seed planted from there. And then but at that time we would just bump into each other. We were not friends. And then one time I was at the bus stop, because
I really love this story. I feel like this story is so beautiful, and God is so intentional. But okay, go.
Yeah, so we were both in university. We went to the same university, and I was at the bus stop, and at that time, because I had just gotten saved, I didn't have a lot of Christian friends. I think I had like one. or two Christian friends at that time, and like one was like not always around me. I think she was at like a different university, and then the other one was like she like moved back home or something like that.
Okay.
So I just felt a lot more alone around that time. And I saw Nana pass by me, and I remembered when she walked by me that like, oh, she like tweets stuff and like you know, she posts whatever, and I was gonna like tap her to say, hey Nana, whatever, like, oh my goodness, like let's remain connected. Even though we were bumping into each other a lot up until that time, we just didn't have a friendship. So she was about to pass by me, or she did pass by me, and I was like, in my mind, instead of saying anything to her, I just decided to say a quiet prayer. And I said this prayer to the Lord. I was like, Lord, if me and Nana are supposed to be connected, I just pray, Lord God, that you would just make the connection. Like you would like let the friendship happen the way it's supposed to, if it's your will. And I don't know, I think after that, we just kept bumping into each other. Yeah, we kept
bumping into each other. And it's so funny because you just said something that really like resonated with me. Like you felt like you were alone. I was also in a season where I kind of was like shutting off old friendships too. And so it was like my roommate at the time that I'm close to at the time, where like was like, she had moved back to like her hometown. So I was also in a season of like, kind of like my friends all lived in Toronto. So I wouldn't see them all the time. So I really didn't really have anybody in the city that we were in for university. So it was honestly also a lonely season for me.
Oh, that's so
Which is interesting. I didn't even realize that. And I don't even know if we ever talked about that.
You never told me that.
But yeah, so it was interesting for you to pray that prayer. But literally, we kept bumping into each other.
It was crazy. Like everywhere we went, we'd always bump into each other. Yeah. And then the friendship just slowly started to flourish. So we'd bump into each other and it'd be a short 5-second conversation.
Yeah.
We'd bump into, then it'd be 10 seconds. Then we'd bump into each other, then it'd be longer. Then it'd be longer. And then until it ended up like that year, we ended up just every single day, we would meet in the concourse. We had this thing called the concourse at a university, and we just sit at that table and we would just talk. Just talk. And we would be there. Sometimes we'd skip class. Like we'd just be there.
It was a lit time.
It was a lit time. Like that was our meetup spot. And then like our other friends, like some of her friends would come, some of my friends would come, and we just all sit around, and then that was just the spot.
Yeah, it was a spot.
That was a spot. Yeah. Good. So it was so good, and I feel like our friendship really flourished from then. Yes. And we just knew very early on, because Nana is very similar to me.
Yeah,
we're very similar.
Different but very similar.
Different but similar.
Yeah.
So like in terms of personality,
okay,
I'd say we have really similar personalities. So a lot of times, if something happens to Nana, she calls me. I already know how she's thinking. I already know how she's feeling. I already know, because I'm like that.
Yeah.
I would say the only difference is you're a little bit more emotional.
I'm definitely more emotional for sure. I feel like Abe is very, like, she's like, how can I show up the best way possible? I'm like,
we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, I'm feeling all the emotions. So I think that's kind of how, which is so, I feel like it's such a really good balance too, because when I'm like in my feelings about things, Abe is able to like analyze all of the steps. She's so wise in that. And I think even for me, I feel like I'm good at like, I think you're an encourager too, but I feel like I'm good at handling
encouraging,
like the emotional side of things.
You are.
Like, and making her feel like, no, you're not wrong for feeling this way. Because I feel like sometimes you do downplay like
my emotions
a lot.
Yeah, so I feel like that's how we balance each other out. Like you teach me a lot to like, okay, no, you can feel the way that you feel. Yeah. We can be there. Let's sit in it. Let's talk about it. And then you'll encourage me. You're such a good gift of encouragement.
Oh, thank you.
It's so good. And then for me, like I'll help you.
Like she's very good at processing the steps. Like Abe is like, I think the perfect image I would say is like you're able to step outside of the situation. Yeah. Even when she's like really upset.
Yo, I can be, guys, someone can do the dirtiest thing to me. I could be really in my emotions and I'll still be able to be like,
yes.
And I'll count my steps. I'll be like, no, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing at all times. It's a little bit religious, a little bit too.
No, but I think not a lot of people, because a lot of us can be emotional. In our feelings, like if someone hurts you, offends you, you're gonna feel emotion. You're human. That's like normal human feelings. But I think you've really done a really good job as throughout the years of our friendship. One thing I really love about you is that you are able to like really take yourself out of a situation when you're feeling a certain way and analyze it for what it really is.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
It is, honestly, it's a really beautiful thing that you have, and I love it. I honestly feel like it's so inspiring. Because it makes me, when I'm emotional, like, okay, are you being too emotional here, girl? Kind of thing. Yeah. So it's good.
And you let me sit on my emotions, and I think that's good. You'd be like, okay, let's not breeze over how you're feeling.
It's gonna be downplay.
Yeah, I'll downplay my emotions all the time.
Yeah.
So I love that. You're such an encourager, and I feel like we really help keep each other grounded in the ways that we need to be. And like I was saying, our relationship's been mostly long distance. So even though we like became really, really close, I think you ended up moving in with me.
We lived together.
That was good. A lot of people have negative experiences moving in with their friends.
Our experience was,
we had such a good experience. So that I feel like solidified our friendship. But then you ended up like moving back to Alberta.
I moved back to Alberta.
So our university was in Waterloo, Ontario, and then she moved out of the province to another province, Alberta.
Yeah.
And from then, what would you say, that was like a year into our friendship, maybe, that you moved to Alberta?
Literally a year into our friendship, because we lived for like 4 months,
maybe 4 months.
Yeah, not that long at all.
Yeah. And then you ended up moving to Alberta, and then we had to like maintain our friendship through long distance. And ever since then, our relationship's been long distance, because then even when I was like in Ontario, I moved after I got married like 6 years ago. So not only now were we like we were in the same country back then, but in different provinces, and we've ever since then, like 6 years ago, we've actually been like in different countries. So how would you say that we've been able to like sustain our friendship long distance?
I think honestly it goes back to like intentionality. Like I think that you put in the work what you want to receive. I really valued our friendship, and I cared about you and loved you very much. So I knew that if I wanted to maintain a friendship with you, we had to put in the work. Yeah. Right? That's so true. And so for me, I think the love was there. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what made me, I'm always, like, I'm going to always pursue Ave. You know? So and like, okay.
Don't make me cry.
No, but that's the truth. Like, I value my friendship with Avrielle so much, I'm not willing to let it go. Aww. So because of that, I'm always going to pursue her. And I think that's me vice versa. I feel like
100%.
Yeah, I feel like that is how we maintain our friendship, because I value, even if we go through hard stuff, I'm like, I know that if we're going through, it's not her overall character. It's maybe she's feeling emotional, or maybe she's sad, or maybe I really hurt her feelings, and we're gonna walk through that together. But it's not enough for us to fall apart. That's what I think. What about you?
Yeah, I love that too. I feel like one big piece of it has been communication, but always just being honest with each other. You know, because like I think that sometimes when you're long distance, you can see the other friend like making other friends, or like, oh, I feel like I'm missing really valuable parts of your life, you know. But we always remain connected, so it doesn't feel like we're missing out. Like, even though we want to be with each other physically, and we know one day we will, you know, but until then, like, we are so good at just keeping each other connected. I think like if something big is happening, or even if something small is happening, like, we keep each other updated throughout the day. To be honest, I talk to Nana so
we talk
much. Elijah's always like, oh, she's on FaceTime. We know she's on FaceTime with Nana. Like, literally, we're always on the phone. You know? Like, we're always on the phone. We're always... And I feel like we have to do that with our friendship because of the distance. Like, my friends that are down here that are with me, like Amanda, Jonna, like, you know, my friends that are down here, it's different. We don't always have to be on the phone, because, like, we can just... see each other, you know, or text each other, hey girl, what are you doing? Let's hang out this week. We don't have that luxury. So we always have to make sure that we stay connected by phone, you know, FaceTime, you know, keeping each other updated with little life updates, small things, big things, so that the other person doesn't feel like they're missing out. One thing that you've like really done so well in our friendship is like, even though like doubts and things might come up because we're so far, you've always just been so upfront. But like one time you were just like, you know, I just feel like I'm missing out. Like, I'm missing out on some parts of your life, and blah, 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 blah. And, like, you were so honest about that. And that I was able to affirm and encourage you.
It was such a good conversation.
It was such a good conversation. Affirm, encourage you, like, and just, like, really just let you know, like, how important and valuable you are to me.
Yes.
And, like, you know, just fill in where the enemy sometimes can, like, leave those, where the gaps are. Sometimes the enemy can try to fill that in. But I feel like you being so upfront with me has helped me to be able to like fill that in. Like, you don't need to guess, you know?
That's good. Yeah. I was even gonna say another thing. So Abe, when we were friends, she would always text me, oh my gosh, long paragraphs of like situations that would happen, and I'm like, okay, no, call me. I don't think you were originally.
I was not a phone person.
Yeah, I don't think you were originally a phone person.
I only texted or voice noted.
Yes.
Never called.
But I would be like, I'm not reading a 300-page
Literally,
essay.
I would text her these long essays. Can I get some backstory on why? Wait, let me check the time because I have to get shot.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
The reason why I would give her these long texts is because my group of friends in high school, we never talked on the, like, if we talked on the phone, it was once in a blue moon. We weren't really on the phone like that. I guess because it was one of those cases where we were always together and we all lived in close proximity, so we didn't need to be on the phone like that. We would just text each other. So if anything crazy happened, I would just be texting her these long paragraphs. And Nana would always be like, can you just call me? Can you just call me? And it really broke me out of that shell because it was uncomfortable for me to be on the phone. This is so weird, but it was uncomfortable for me to be on the phone for a while because me and my girlfriends never did it. And I think that's, like, I'm going to let you finish, but I just want to say this before I forget. I think that's also something that you've done so well in our friendship is, like, you've broken me out of past things that I did with my friends.
Really?
that I didn't even... It wasn't bad at that time that we never talked on the phone, but like you pushed me out of that barrier of like, girl, we can talk on the phone, and now I love talking on the phone with you. Yeah. Like literally, you're my friend that I talk on the phone with the most.
Oh, that's cute.
It's just so like enjoyable for you. Like, oh, Nana's calling. Oh, I have to call Nana. Oh, and like for me, I just feel like you did that for me, and then also like my other friends, like in high school and stuff like that, like I think that because we were so young and we were all growing and didn't really know 100% how to treat each other all the time, you were just the first friend that I had, I would say, like very early on, that really showed me like, no, that this can be better. Not that they were bad people, it was really just that like we were all
so young, maybe?
young, and we just didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like God really used you in my life to show me like, no, like you can have a really good quality friend who's like literally gonna sit closer than a brother.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
And I think our relationship is a beautiful example of closer than a brother. Yeah. Like Ave is really family to me. Yeah. Like we're literally like siblings. That's what it feels like. No, seriously, I actually do feel like that. And I think it's like God's grace, but I really feel like our relationship is just so close. Yeah. And I think maybe it's because of how the foundation was built, but yeah, I think I do feel like that scripture is a really big theme in our relationship.
I agree. Yeah. I agree for sure.
Yeah, so Abe used to text me these long, like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think the reason why I also aren't really a texter is because I actually moved away from my friends early on. So I think to be honest, all my friends don't live close to me. Yeah. Right? And so I think I had that long distance capability, and I was just like, girl, you need to tell me I need to feel the energy. Like I need to feel like you in the space. Like I can't get the same message through text kind of thing. And so I feel like that pushed you out of your comfort zone, and I think maybe God knew that we were going to be far apart. I don't know. We have to be willing to make adjustments in friendships.
It's so good.
Right? Because there's a lot of things that, I had to learn to adjust even with Ave too. So I think a lot of times we're like, well, I'm a texter, so you better text me. Yeah, like this is how I am. So like I need people to take me as I am, and I think that doesn't work sometimes. As your friends adjust, you have to be willing to adjust. Yes, because seasons change. Like we've gotten married, we've had kids. All of these things have changed, and if we were just to like, because there's times where I will text you and you won't respond for like a couple days. A couple days, 24 hours. Okay, 4 hours, whatever. No, it's been a couple days too. But it's all good. It's all good. But it's all good. I'm not offended.
No, I know, but I don't think that 48 hours.
No, maybe 48 hours. Okay, a couple days is 48 hours.
No, I'm saying I don't think 48 hours.
Okay, whatever.
Not her about to make me look bad.
Okay, anyway, but the point is, the point is that you don't always respond right away. That's true. That's the point, right? And I'm not bothered by that because I know that she has a family, she has kids, she's out, like, whatever, right? She'll get back to me. We'll call each other. Like sometimes she always calls me like, okay, I'm not gonna see the weekend hoe because whatever. But A will make a joke about me being on a weekend, and I
always call her a weekend hoe.
Yeah, do you want to say that?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, I always call her a weekend hoe. I'm like, if I know that if I call her on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm not getting her.
Yeah, and that's because
I'm like, she's busy, but I always still call her. I don't care.
Yeah, and she'll call me,
and then I know she'll get back to me when it's Monday.
Yeah, no, legit. She'll be like, oh, what day is it? Oh, it's Monday. I'm like, okay.
I know. I'm like, this girl's in the streets. I forgot. Literally, she's not even in the streets. She's out with her family, just enjoying life.
No, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, we can understand that. Okay, like life, our friends change, we adjust, but like, I think we always come back to like okay, let's call each other, let's FaceTime each other.
Yeah.
And that's what works for our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, and I think you have to be willing to be like, okay, it doesn't look like this, but that doesn't mean that we can't change as the seasons change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's true too, because I feel like you're definitely the friend that I talk to the most on a consistent basis because of how long distance we are. Like, I literally talk to you. We don't go 2 days without talking.
No, legit.
Like, it's like, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen at all.
So, if it does happen, I'm like depressed or like.
She. And you know what? I noticed when Abe's depressed, girl, you won't hear from Abe. I have to check it. I'm like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And she will be like, yeah, I'm okay. I just had a long day, whatever.
Yeah,
you know. So I think it's just a consistent. It goes back to like the consistent communication.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we've been able to do our friendship almost 10 years without communicating.
Literally. We communicate so much.
Yeah.
I think we over communicate.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So I would say those are the main things. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you're here. There's going to be more content from us. Literally. Guys, this is like my dream. I'm so happy she's here. I've been telling her to come to Dallas for how many millions of years. But in her defense, it was COVID and she never got the vaccine, if you don't care. Don't worry, I never got it either. But
Abe literally should be the ambassador of Texas because she's trying to recruit everybody.
One of my friends from Canada said that I must work for the marketing department
No,
for the Texas government because I'm like, everybody needs to move here.
Yeah.
And she will eventually. We believe it, and her heart has definitely come around to it.
Yeah,
so we're just believing it's gonna happen. We're speaking in faith.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy you're here, and I just can't wait for you to be here physically because I need you physically.
Let's get lit.
Yeah, we're about to get lit. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.